This is When Cockroaches Hunted Panzers. Like, it looks like an animation, but maybe it's based on some history or something. I don't know. Like, what if in World War II they used to, rather than drop, like they used to drop cockroach into the barrel of a tank, and the cockroach had disease to kill the crew inside, I don't know. Maybe something like that happened. Yeah. 20 at least. Fair enough. So yeah, by Yarnhub, When Cockroaches Hunted Panzers.
It's September the 18th, 1939, in the Polish countryside near the village of Peczeka. Section Commander Edmund Roman Orlik leads 3 TKS tankettes as they scour the land for the enemy.
The small. Tankettes are cute.
The tankettes come to an abrupt halt as Orlik hears something. He listens closer. It sounds like tanks. It is tanks, and they're coming in from the right. It has to be the enemy. He orders 2 machine gun tankettes to stand back, as he knows they can't do anything against armor.
Yeah, obviously.
It's all up to him. Orlik orders his driver to take them off-road to the left, and the little tank hunter springs into action, forcing its way through the weeds and bushes. The small engines rev loudly inside the fighting compartment, and the small size makes them buckle violently backwards and forth with every bump. Unfazed, Orlik makes it to a position overlooking the crossroads with a bush for concealment.
Alright.
The tankettes are tiny 2-man vehicles with a machine gun. Orlik's TKS has replaced the machine gun with a 200mm autocannon capable of firing 5-round magazines in less than a second.
Really? But I still wouldn't penetrate like tank armor, right?
Orlik has his attention forward, peeking through his sight, waiting in ambush.
Or would it?
Before him is an empty crossroads, the sounds of engines and tracks ominously growing ever louder. The German tanks are on a routine patrol and are buttoned up with the hatches closed. No Polish forces have been spotted here for at least a few days. Inside the lead tank is platoon commander Victor IV Albrecht von Ratibor. He's German nobility and the eldest son and heir to the Duke of Ratibor. He's in a Panzer IV-B and has good frontal armor, and even the sides can hold off small arms and sometimes anti-tank shells. Despite being in the biggest tank on the Polish battlefield, von Ratibor is careful when approaching the crossroads. The German tank's slow.
Nobody's here.
Orlik's eyes widen as the German war machine rolls into view.
Speaking English as the German did in World War II.
The Germans don't know they're there. With nerves of steel and under the concealment of the bush, Orlik calmly takes aim for the white cross emblazoned on the side of the Panzer's turret and fires a single shot.
So that's good enough to penetrate.
The natural calm, and a single 20mm shell zips for its target.
Okay. Man, my impression of tankette was that they were just for reconnaissance and stuff like that, right? I didn't know they could literally do anything to an actual, like, normal-sized tank. Alright.
It strikes square on the tank's turret side, piercing clean through. There's chaos inside the German tank as it stops in its tracks. The hatches open and smoke streams from the hatches of the stricken Panzer. The driver and a member of the turret crew rush out of the wreck, leaving their commander behind.
Whoa.
A TKS hidden in the bushes doesn't wait for orders and opens fire with its machine gun. The 2 crewmen fall, never to rise. Now, behind the smoking wreck of the Panzer IV, the rest of the patrol, consisting of 2 Panzer 35Ts, rolls into view. Orlik rapidly orders his driver to pull back as the Panzer 35Ts emerge with their guns aimed directly towards him. Inside the 35T, the gunners take aim. With their low profile, they can hardly see the Polish tankettes hidden in the foliage. The gunner mutters under his breath. Damned cockroaches!
Oh, that's what it is. So the tankettes are like cockroaches. I get it now. I get it. Okay, that explains it. I forgot this was about cockroaches. Alright, this is good clickbait. All I can say.
One panzer fires, then the other, and two shells scream towards the tiny form. Their shells rip through the foliage around the TKS, but fortunately, they miss. Orlik tells the driver to stop as he opens fire on the first German. But with the enemy's turret aimed at them, there's no weak spot for them to exploit. The two men watch in horror as bullet after bullet pings off harmlessly from the Panzer's turret and angled hull sides.
Scary.
Fortunately, the German keeps driving forward, and the hull loses its valuable angle. Orlik slams another magazine into the gun and fires mercilessly upon the hull side.
The side is that vulnerable, huh? Alright.
Until one finally goes in. The 20mm pierces the Panzer and strikes square in the ammunition stowage, lighting the powder and setting off a catastrophic chain reaction.
Yep.
The 35T's hatch blows open, spewing a column of fire and smoke into the air. The last 35T...
It's really like one way to die, like, you know, tank fighting may seem cool and less brutal in a way than, you know, like just infantry stabbing, shooting each other to pieces, right? But at the same time, when you think about it, like, yeah, like, you know, either you get shot and you're bleeding out inside the tank, like, you know, in this tiny metal confine, you know, you have like bloods all over the place, you're sleeping inside it, or you literally like something explode or a fire start, and you are being cooked alive inside a metal box. I mean, it's pretty fucked up.
Carries on forward, driving ahead of the burning machine, while firing shell after shell in the Poles' general direction. Their shots rip tree branches apart and lift dirt into the air, but fortunately miss a small-profile tankette. Inside the 35T, they hurl insults at the tiny tanks, so difficult to kill and so hard to spot, just like cockroaches. Seeing his two allies already destroyed, the commander decides to make a run for it.
Let's get support. Run for support.
If the crew can make it to Pacheka, they can alert the other German forces that Polish forces of yet unknown strength are in the area.
I don't know if this is like a rare occurrence or if there was many incidents like that. I don't know if tankettes were like super mass produced, but was there like a lot of you know, moment of tankettes being able to take down a bigger tank? Because I've never heard stories like this.
But the determined Pole won't let the invader go. He orders his driver to chase after him, and the TKS rapidly stumbles through the forest in pursuit. They burst through a bush and spot the Panzer fleeing away. Orlik opens fire. He strikes the 35T across its rear with a volley of 20mm and taking it out of commission.
Nice.
Orlik's tank rolls up to the wrecked 35T just as two crew members stumble out. Rapidly exiting his TKS.
Bro, I'm not running. Like, if I'm the German, like, I'm not running. Do you really want to go back to your German side saying that you lost 3 fucking tanks to 1 tankette? And that you run away from it? I mean, I'd rather be taken prisoner.
Orlik aims his handgun at the two men.
Hand the hawk,
he shouts. They lift their hands in surrender.
Who are you? Where is your commander?
The two Germans look at one another and then point towards the smoldering Panzer IV.
Is that accurate? Do they actually speak English and I'm stupid?
Together, they head for the Panzer and check within as smoke pours from its open hatches. Battling the fumes, they manage to find the badly injured commander and nobleman, Victor IV Albrecht von Ratibor, still alive. They bravely drag him out of the rapidly growing flames, but it's to no avail, as he would succumb to his injuries just a few minutes later. The two surviving Germans are crestfallen. Through watery eyes, one of them hurls the insult once again.
We would have hit you with our guns if you weren't in those damned cockroaches.
The Poles took the name with pride, and going forward, referred to themselves proudly as cockroaches.
And frankly, like, we all think of cockroaches as something disgusting, right? And they are to an extent. But aren't they also, like, you know, like some pretty crazy insect that can survive radiation? And, you know, like, cockroaches as a term is often used for that, right? Like, you know, someone who, for example, can survive non-stop no matter what, resistant to a lot of things. So yeah, I guess it's a good name.
It wasn't the first or last time Orlik would claim victories upon the far superior German Panzers.
That's
He
crazy.
would rise to the occasion again the very next day, participating in hard defense in the town of Sierakov, where the defenders struck down 7 more German war machines.
Alright.
The true details of this engagement have been lost to the sands of time. We took the liberty of trying to recreate it as best we could.
Sure. Sick animation we see from this whole video. Sick animation. I really like this style. I mean, nothing against the animation channel for like history content that do it in a more comedic style or, you know, cartoonish art style, but I think this feels
Orlik
much
was
better
awarded
for
the Cross of Valor
representing
after
the
war
actual
for his
event.
incredible actions and is credited as Poland's first ever tank ace.
A tank ace.
But tragically, it would all be in vain.
Well,
Despite
yeah.
the Polish forces' best efforts and incredible skill, they couldn't defy their lack of equipment
If only they had like 100,000 tankettes, like they would have conquered the world.
and
I
resources.
believe.
Orlik fought to the last and beyond, participating in the defense of Warsaw and then joining the resistance upon Polish surrender.
Nice.
Orlik was captured, but managed to escape and survived the war.
Nice.
He became a successful architect in peacetime, finishing his degree in what today is the Academy of Fine Arts in
That's
Łódź,
cool.
at the same time as Władysław Strzeminski from the Attack of the Dead Men was
I know about
working
that.
in the academy as a teacher.
Oh wow, that's crazy. Attack of the Dead Man, if you don't know, I know from the Sabaton song. It was a crazy defense, you know, of like some castle railway place or something, where poison gas was used by the German against Russian force in trenches. But some of them survived, and when the German attacked, the, you know, bloodied, coughing of blood and almost dying people like came out of the trenches, scared them away, and yeah, it's a pretty legendary story, right? It's a
While
crazy
we
story.
can't be sure, we would like to think the men met and maybe even were friends.
Yeah.
Tank ace Edmund Roman Orlik passed away on the 8th of April,
Rest in peace.
1982. If you
Then
haven't
now,
yet,
if you like-
please subscribe to the channel and please watch more videos of ours. Thank you.
Now I feel like I really need to like learn more about tankettes. Like again, I know about them, but I always thought they were like a gimmick kind of thing, right? Like super cute tiny tanks, you know, for like reconnaissance or something. But you know, if this was a possibility, yeah, that's pretty crazy. Though I guess I get why this happened actually. I was pretty shocked that they were able to penetrate, especially from the side. But this is 39, right? So like beginning of the war, right? Some of the early German tanks. So maybe, you know, in the next couple of years, like tankettes would probably not make as much sense, because they would never carry anything that could penetrate German tank anymore as they keep developing the armor. So I'm assuming, yeah, this was really something that worked in 39, but maybe that's why I haven't really heard about more tankette stuff. Or maybe I'm just, again, I haven't thought about it, and there's more, you know, cool stuff to learn about tankette from the next couple of years. Okay, really good stuff. Again, I like this kind of animation channel. You know, once again, as I always say, like, I understand people who like it, but I really am not into the, you know, like cartoonishly animation channel that do history stuff. I much prefer this kind of like serious presentation and more realistic presentation of things, especially for history. Like for history, it works way better for me like this, you know? So, really good. Really interesting. Really interesting. Okay, that was a great video. That was a great one.